Hey, what's up everyone? And welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that I personally find absolutely wild. The idea that regular, everyday people sitting behind a computer screen have actually helped crack some of the most baffling cold cases in history. We're talking murders, disappearances, unidentified bodies. Cases that left professional detectives completely stumped for years, sometimes decades. And then boom, some random person on the internet figures it out. So let's get into it. Here are 5 times the internet solved cold case crimes. Alright, so we're kicking things off with a story that honestly starts out like a dream and turns into an absolute nightmare. Abraham Shakespeare was just a regular working-class guy from Florida. Nothing fancy, nothing special. And then one day, he wins $30 million in the lottery. $30 million. You'd think that's where the good part of the story starts, right? Well, not exactly. Abraham wasn't flashy about it. He took a lump sum of $17 million, moved into a nice gated community, bought a $1 million home, a Nissan Altima, and a Rolex from a pawn shop. That's it. The guy was genuinely humble. But the moment word got out that he had money, everyone came crawling out of the woodwork. Friends, strangers, distant relatives, all wanting a piece of him. Abraham himself said, asterisk, I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is just money, asterisk. And one of those people was a woman named Doris D.D. Moore. Moore became his so-called business partner. She got full control of the company's finances and helped herself to about $1 million of Abraham's money, spending it on luxury cars and vacations for herself. Classic. Then in November 2009, Abraham's family reported him missing. They hadn't seen him in months. Moore kept giving these weird, shifting stories. Asterisk. Oh, he went to Jamaica. No, wait. Texas. Actually, he might be in the hospital. Asterisk, nothing was adding up. An anonymous tip eventually led police to Moore's backyard, where they found Abraham's body buried 9 feet deep under a concrete slab. 9 feet. Someone really didn't want that body found. After the body was discovered, Moore changed her story again, claiming drug dealers were responsible. But investigators found out she'd been using Abraham's phone to text his family and friends, pretending to be him, which is chilling on its own. They also found out she tried to pay someone $50,000 to take the blame. But here's where it gets interesting. The case caught massive attention on a website called Websleuths, an online forum where everyday people dig into crime cases together. Users started theorizing that Moore was the killer. And when Moore found out, instead of staying quiet, she made an account on Websleuths anonymously to defend herself. Big mistake. The site's co-owner, Trisha Griffith, tracked the IP address and matched it directly to Moore's computer. When Moore denied it, Griffith basically said, asterisk, that's funny, because the IP address and email match your computer. Asterisk. Police were thrilled. Moore had essentially talked herself into an arrest. She was charged with first-degree murder and is currently serving life in prison without parole. The Internet, 1. Murderers, 0. Okay, this next one. This one gives me chills every single time. The Golden State Killer. Just hearing that name is enough to make your skin crawl. This guy terrorized California from 1973 all the way to 1986. At least 13 murders, more than 50 rapes, and over 100 burglaries. For over 30 years, he was a ghost. Nobody knew who he was. Enter Michelle McNamara, a crime writer who became absolutely obsessed with catching this guy. She spent years hunting him down, visiting crime scenes, interviewing victims, piecing together research across multiple cities, connecting 3 separate cases: the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker, and the Visalia Ransacker, into one terrifying profile. It was largely her work that linked all three cases through DNA and gave this monster his infamous name. In her book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark, she laid out everything she knew. And crucially, she told police the killer would have a military or law enforcement background. Tragically, Michelle never got to see the case close. She passed away in her sleep in April 2016. But 2 years later, the killer was finally caught, and his name was Joseph DeAngelo. He was arrested in Sacramento in August 2018. How did they get him? A relative had submitted their DNA to a genealogy website, and it matched DNA from one of the crime scenes. When detectives confronted DeAngelo, he confessed, blaming some inner personality he called Jerry for the crimes. And when they looked into his background, Navy veteran, former police officer, fired in 1979, exactly what Michelle had predicted. She never lived to see it. But her husband, comedian Patton Oswalt, said she never cared about fame or recognition. She just wanted the Golden State Killer behind bars and the victims to finally have some relief. She got her wish. This next case is one of the darkest and most haunting cold cases in New Hampshire history, and it took a podcast to help crack it open. Back in 1985, a hunter stumbled upon a discarded 55-gallon barrel near Bear Brook State Park. Inside were the bodies of two people, a woman and a young child. Horrifying enough on its own. But then, 15 years later, another barrel was found just 100 yards away. 2 more children's bodies inside. For victims, also badly decomposed that nobody could identify them. The case went cold. Fast forward to 2017. A woman named Becky Heath, who had been following the case for years, decided to search Ancestry.com looking for anyone searching for missing loved ones whose descriptions might match the victims. She found a woman named Sarah McWaters, who was looking for her mother and half-sister who had vanished in the late 1970s. The birth dates lined up. Becky was intrigued, but talked herself out of it, figuring she probably couldn't really help. Then she heard the Bear Brook podcast. The podcast went deep into the case, and it reignited everything for Becky. She reached back out to Sarah. Meanwhile, completely separately, investigators had already managed to identify the killer through DNA. His name was Terrence Rasmussen, a man with a brutal criminal history, connected to multiple disappearances and murders. He died in prison in 2010, but his daughter allowed forensic officials to confirm he was the Bear Brook killer. With that piece in place, Becky's connection to Sarah suddenly made everything click. Sarah's mother had once been briefly married to Rasmussen. 3 of the 4 victims were identified as a mother, Marlies Elizabeth Honeychurch, and her 2 daughters. The 4th victim, confirmed to be Rasmussen's own daughter, still remains unidentified to this day. It's a sad, haunting case. But thanks to a podcast, an Ancestry.com search, and one determined woman, a family finally got closure after more than 30 years. And that's a wrap on the internet-solved cold case crimes. Honestly, every single one of these stories gives me a little bit of hope, because as dark as true crime gets, there are people out there who genuinely care about finding answers for victims and their families. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. We drop new videos every week, and trust me, there's a lot more dark, fascinating stuff coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay curious, stay safe,